I consider myself extremely, extremely lucky to have landed in the ARC Acute Rehabilitation Center in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, because they approached me in my rehabilitation from all aspects, all angles of rehabilitation. First, obviously, there's the physical rehab. I had broken my hip, and had surgery and needed to rehab from that, so that required strength and mobility and all those things. But then they looked at me as a complete patient in that, in addition to my broken hip, I had MS, which means there were lots of other things to be considered. Anytime there is a traumatic injury like that of a shattered hip needing a prosthetic replacement, anytime you've got that, and on top of that you've got something like MS, everything about your MS is affected by this traumatic injury. So it would be silly to not recognize that. And I'm afraid that in many places that's not recognized. So at ARC, Acute Physical Therapy Rehabilitation, they came at me from the physical therapy aspect, but they also came at me from occupational therapy. And I thought, I don't have an occupation, so what are we going to do now? I learned that occupational therapy is not about your job, or it could be, I guess, if you got one. But occupational therapy for me dealt with life things that I would have to get back to after this injury. Normal things like getting dressed, like taking a shower, like self-grooming, like using the tools that I would need to use to not break my hip again and to allow it to recover the way that I should. So that would be occupational therapy. So they came with that. But then there was also speech therapy. And I was thinking, I speak fine usually, so what is this? And I learned that it was a lot of fun. I really looked forward to it, and I look forward to all the therapies. But speech therapy was, as I saw it, more cognitive. So they would come with puzzles, word puzzles, and ask me to solve them or respond. And I thought it was so funny. It was just a lot of laughter, which releases a lot of endorphins, which I did not realize then, but I needed those. And the speech therapy showed itself to me once I was released. Once I got home and tried to work my way back into the routine, I realized that the puzzles that were given to me in speech therapy allowed me to think in ways that I would need to think when I got home. It's a part of my rehabilitation, a part of getting me back to the place where I want to be.